All right, last speaker of the night, Dan Costa. He's going to speak for about 18, 20 minutes, and then we are going to have a Q&A right here from the living room. If he goes over 20 minutes, we're just going to come on out, and we're going to sit in the living room until it's uncomfortable for him, and he just joins us. I'm just teasing. All right, we do have in your handout, there's a 5x7 card in that handout, in your flyer. And you all received an ink pen. Those are the cards that we're going to use for the Q&A. So we'll have some United Capital employees gather those cards during the Q&A and pass them down to the front, and I'll ask our speakers from tonight the questions that are all on your mind. And then we'll get into some breakout sessions. But without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, the one they say has the Midas touch, he likes to say he's a chef. I'm just a chef. I'm just a cook from Modesto. You know, I got the Mallard thing going. Come on out, Dan. I got this whole Velvet Creamery thing coming. I just like milkshakes and hot dogs. My good buddy, Dan Costa, and like I said about the other two speakers, Dan's another one that I can call, and he'll kick me in the butt into getting out of my funk and getting on with my day. So, Dan, it's yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Don't push that wrong button.
No, I won't. I won't. If I push that button, they said the building goes up in smoke, So I can't do that. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you for coming out tonight, and it's wonderful to be here amongst all of you. I mean, when I look at this kind of a group and being out there earlier and watching folks come in, you're all my customers. I probably cooked for sure for every single one of you at one time or another, either at the Velvet Creamery or Mallard's, or you've bought some of the food products from Dr. Surla in the store, or you eat at Mike's Grill House, my brother's restaurant or something. So I want to thank you all for being our customer and supporting it. You know, we have, my family and I have opened and started many different businesses in this community. But earlier there was a young lady interviewing me for the Business Journal magazine, and she said, all your businesses were started here. And, how come? It's kind of interesting, Modesto. And I said, Modesto's a great place. It's kind of like the center of the watermelon for the country. And if you wanted to just test the country and you wanted to see how a project would work, Modesto's a good place to test it because it is kind of like the all-American city. So I want to start by just saying thank you for all you've done for me and my family to help us in business because you've supported us. You've been our customers. My job tonight is to make sure that I got to try and give you some take-home value. Somehow, some way, I got to reach in here and throw out some advice that you can take home and have that be something that you can use in your career or your business, your everyday life, or whatever. So I'll do my best to do that. My presentation explains the past, kind of the present, and the future of what I'm involved in and what I have been involved in. And I'm also going to talk about what works for me. And at this stage of the game, for me, business is it's like my hobby. It's my sport. And so I want to tell you, because I feel very close to you, because we all started together, I want to tell you where I'm at in my stage of the game, what I'm doing, what gets me out of bed every morning, and what fires me up, and the kind of game we're playing right now when it comes to business. And I have some philosophical views on business, and those may, work for me. They may not work for you, but those are what I've learned, and that's kind of how I run my business. Also, for those of you that are going to think about a question, definitely write down some questions, and I don't know how they're going to pick the people, but whoever gets a question answered is going to get a free pair of our Noble Outfitters socks. And they are really good socks. So think of your questions. Okay, so let me go into Joe's, no, wrong thing. Okay, so the beginning, the middle, and the end. this is the way I think about business. When I think about a business, I think about the beginning, and I'm going to go through the businesses I'm involved in now, and I'm going to tell you how do I think about it as the beginning. Then there's the middle. And how do I think about the middle? I actually don't think much about the middle. And then there's the end. I always think about the end as soon as I start. Is there an end? Can I get out? Can I sell? Because I think about business like a banana. I truly do. I think businesses are like a banana. The beginning, it's green. Now, I look at that business and I think, can that business become something? Well, yeah, it's a banana. It can become something. It could become really nice and beautiful. The middle, I'm not going to sweat the middle too much because the middle's, you got to bend and move and take what comes at you and make it work. But if you validate that the beginning is good enough, you'll get through the middle by hard work and dedication. And then the end. You see the end's kind of in the middle? That's when it's just ripe enough to eat. Sold to the highest buyer, to the highest bidder. Because over there, down there to the right, I don't want to be holding on to the bananas when they look like that. And just think about it today. Think about it. Who would think that you're in the taxi business and Uber's going to eat your lunch? I mean, who would think about that in the newspaper business that nobody picks it up anymore? I mean, I can remember many, many years ago, and this is dating myself, so I'm old, okay, I'm really old. But in downtown Modesto, I can remember going shopping with my mom. She's here tonight. And we would go shopping with her as kids. She used to take us everywhere with her. And I remember distinctively her going into a store, and sometimes when you're kids, you just remember some crazy things. But I remember going into a store, it was a hat shop. All this store sold was hats. Ladies' hats and men's hats. So look at a movie from the 40s and 50s. I was born in 53. Everybody in the movie had a hat on. Nobody wears the hats anymore, okay? So the hat business is over, is gone, completely gone. And that was kind of like a slow change. Hats came in the turn of the century, and they went out like in the 60s. Now, things are going fast, very, very fast. So I like getting in, and I like getting out. Let's take a look back. I started in the creamery, 1976, little sandwich shop. Velvet Ice Cream, Davis Lay Produce, Mallard's Restaurant, Mallard's Food Products, Real Estate Development, Royal Robbins, and 511. And after 511, my daughter was working with me at 511 in marketing, and we had sold 511. We stayed there for a certain period of time to help grow the business for the folks we sold it to. And we decided that after we did what we were supposed to do for them, we sold the business. We promised we would double the business. We did that. We gave it back to them. And her and I wanted to start a new company. We wanted to do something new. And we didn't know exactly what to do. So Kelsey and I just started thinking, what would we do? What kind of business would we create? And we came up with not one, but we came up with 4 businesses. Actually, I'm on restriction right now. I feel like going to one of those meetings. Hi, I'm Dan Costa. I'm a business-aholic. But it's kind of a fascinating thing that we've put together. But I've drawn back on all of the knowledge over the years, every bit of the knowledge from working at the Sundial and working downtown here at the Hotel Covell and washing pots and pans and cooking and distributing produce or whatever, drawing on all that knowledge to create these new businesses. So it's quite fascinating, and 3 of them kind of go together, and I'll explain that to you, and one of them is very separate, and that's the food business. Because what I'm trying to do, what we're going to do, is we're going to combine the 3 businesses, Noble Outfitters, First Tactical, and Skin Graft. they're all clothing companies. And so I'm going to explain those to you, but we're going to build those companies as their green bananas, and we're going to bundle them together, and we're going to sell them as a bunch of bananas. And we're going to sell them all at one time. And then the Chef's Menu project will sell separately as its own thing because it doesn't really go synergistically with the clothing companies. Okay, here's what I ask myself when I get ready to go into business. Is there a market? And every one of the businesses, I'm going to go through this and I'm going to tell you how I thought and what I thought about. Can the business scale large enough? In the beginning, when I opened the first creamery, I wasn't worried too much about this. I just wanted to get into business. But now, I don't want to get into a business unless it can at least be national, around the country, or international. If it can be international, even better. And do I understand the business? Am I okay with this? Can I step up to that plate, and can I feel like I can hit that fastball? Is that business scare me, or am I okay? Do I think I can handle it? Okay, Chef's Menu. Is there a market? Pretty simple. Very interesting today. People, they don't have time to cook. They don't know how to cook. They want to eat healthy, and they don't even know how to buy the products to cook. Our new Chef's Menu program in the stores, it's interesting. I was sitting in the store the other day watching people shop the meat case. A lady came in and she bought this big roast. It's a chuck roast. It was on sale. And I said, so I'm thinking I'm going to sell her one of our sauces to go over the roast. I said, so how are you going to prepare the roast? And she said, roast? I said, yeah, that's a chuck roast. She goes, it's on sale. It's a nice piece of meat. I go, yeah, how are you going to prepare it? She said, well, I was going to grill it. I said, well, you better get a buzzsaw after you grill it because you're not going to be able to chew it. And she said, but it's a beautiful piece of meat. I said, I know, but you don't grill that. You roast it. I mean, that's going to take about 3 or 4 hours to cook. You put some potatoes and, and I was going to sell you this portobello mushroom sauce to put over it because I know you don't know how to make gravy. So anyway, she said, so what should I buy? I said, well, you're buying something to eat like right now? And she goes, yes. I said, well, you better have some maybe some steak. She goes, oh, it's so expensive. So finally I got her, she did some hamburger steaks. So I said, why don't you make some hamburger steaks? Oh, we're trying to watch our weight. And it's like, oh, we'll take the turkey burger. So we took turkey burger, got her some sauce and stuff. She sent me an email back. She says, hey, that was incredible. I made this beautiful dinner and it was so easy and so fast. Clueless. Okay, so this is... A lot of consumers are like this out there. Can the business scale? Okay, can the business scale large enough? I mean, come on. It's like 90,000 supermarkets we could put this product into. So yes, this business could scale. Do we understand the business? Well, we were there before. This is I think this is like 1995 or 6. This was a meal solution company that we sold to Tyson Foods in 1997, was going crazy. It was going great. Tyson bought the company and destroyed it in a matter of months. And so we've already been there. We already did this. And now the consumer is even hungrier, less apt to cook their own dinners at home, less knowledgeable about how to cook. So the business is ripe. The stores need it. The customers need it. And we know it, okay? And then, can we sell that business? We did that before too, and there's a lot of buyers out there for this type of business. So now the middle, okay? So we know the beginning. We know we're going to get out there and do it. We don't know the middle. I mean, we started this project over a year ago. We've done 20 or 30 focus groups. One of the things we learned, we actually had to tell the store that you need to cut the meat differently than you're cutting it because your customer doesn't want it cut the way you're cutting it. And the butchers at the store are like, what do you mean? I said, do you know that people actually don't like touching chicken? And I said, what do you mean by that? So you got these big breasts of chicken in these packages. The consumer doesn't even want to open them up and touch them. They just want to tear open the package and put it in the pan or put it on the grill. And they can't because the breast of chicken is 4 inches thick. You got to slice the chicken up for the consumer. So we start doing that and the meat started flying out of the case. So we do a lot of focus groups and we talk to the customer. So this will be the new process that goes into the supermarkets. This goes into all Rayleigh's stores in middle of March. It's a Rayleigh's private label program because they're going to market it themselves. After we've proven it in all the Rayleigh's stores, we'll go across the country and take store by store and do a private label with Ralph's, and H-E-B in Texas, and Schnucks in St. Louis, and whatever. Noble Outfitters. This is a crazy one. We basically kind of had some friends that rode horses. They were complaining about the products they had, whether it was their socks, because their English riding boots always hurt them, and the socks they wear don't protect them. So we started looking at the products, and we said, okay, well, is there a market for this? Well, it's Western and English riding, okay? Western lifestyle. I'll never forget when I was thinking about the beginning, I was thinking, think about this business. If you had a picture anywhere in the world, if someone saw a picture of a guy in a cowboy hat like John Wayne, they would say, oh, that's an American, right? It's us. It's who we are. Horses, cowboys, country music. 16.1 million viewers, the CMA Awards. Can the business scale large enough? That's how many stores sell the products we make. Over 15,000 different stores. This one amazed me when we were doing our thinking about whether we should go into this business or not. 15,000 stores. And I was thinking, who are these stores? And we started looking. There's like 10 of them around here. Oakdale Feed and Seed Store, at McHenry, feed. I mean, they're everywhere, and they sell these products. They sell the products that we could make into that business. This is what they look like all over the country. It's like the old mercantiles. They're all mom and pops. So there's a niche there. We could go in and service them, make really good products, market our products, draw on what we've learned. Do we understand the business? Well, when we look at the products, we've made footwear before with 511. We made outerwear and jackets, and we made tools and bags and different things. So, yeah, we could figure this out. So we did. We started this business. We started distributing into the stores about a year and a half ago. We have over 35 salespeople all over the country. These are our full-time salespeople that go out and call on those stores. And we're in about 2,500 to 2,700 stores now after about a year and a half. So we are flat kicking butt in that business. Thank you. You have to thank Kelsey on that one too, because she's done a tremendous job marketing that brand. The brand, something very, very important to understand when you're trying to sell a business. The brand is more important than just the products. It's just that brand, that mystique. What do people want to wear your product because of? Why do they like your product? First Tactical. We were in the tactical business before. We spent a lot of time in that business, and I sold the business to an investment group. We stayed there, doubled the business, and I kind of worked there during my time of non-compete. So I had 5 years that I couldn't compete. But after I left, we started doing the other businesses, and the folks who bought 511 decided to move the company to Southern California. So I had moved a lot of people into this area, and I'm Modesto, okay? I'm here, I'm born and raised here. Denise and I, my wife, we went to Franklin School. Okay, we're not going anywhere. We love Modesto. So a lot of our people were coming and say, hey, the business moved. I don't have a job. What are we going to do? So our offices look like a 511 refugee camp. It's like all the people from 511 have come over to our office. And so we thought, well, hey, I don't have a non-compete. We've got all these people. They moved the office. Let's go. We're going to go at it again. But we're going to go at it a little bit differently. We're going to talk about, the beginning and do we know the business? Okay, hey, we know it's a market. We know it's a big business. We've been there before. Do we understand the business? We just got through doing it. So this one's a no-brainer. But a new way to go after the market, and this happens to be talk about like today's business, is the internet. Now, when I showed you the stores for Noble Outfitters, there was 15,000 stores. There's only 400 viable stores that sell law enforcement public safety product in the country. 400. Actually, the consumer doesn't really need the store because they buy the same thing over and over and over. Fireman, blue t-shirt, Modesto Fire Department. They're not gonna change the name of the fire department. It's the Modesto Fire Department. They're not gonna change the name of the police department. They're not gonna all of a sudden start wearing chartreuse instead of navy blue. It's like, no. They're gonna wear that uniform and they're just keep buying the same thing over and over. So we're gonna go after them and sell them online instead of through stores. So we're actually gonna sell them better products at a lower price. Because if I make a product and it costs me $2, I sell it to the store for $4 and the store sells it for $8. Now I'm gonna buy it for $2 and I'm gonna sell it to the person for $3, or I'm gonna sell it to the person for like $5 instead of $4 and give them free freight. So I'm going to save them money, and I'm going to get them a better product. So we should grow this company pretty quick. It launches on July 4th. The teaser website launches on April 1st, and on July 4th, you'll see a complete line of products in the tactical arena again. Skin graft. Now here's kind of crazy when you'll have to write this name down and do some looking at it online. I met a couple of young guys through a friend that started a company called Skin Graft. It's a high fashion clothing company, leather goods, beautiful leather jackets, leather pants. This stuff's out there, okay? I mean, it's really beautiful, cool stuff. And so the goal is to bring these guys, and we have brought them into our company. And now that's the third part of our apparel company. So when we go sell the companies now, when we look at it, we're going to have like Skin Graft type customer, out cowboy type customer, and then a law enforcement customer. What do they all have in common? They all have clothing on, and we make clothing. So the synergies that we have, all work together. This is Skin Graft. They just got back from, Kelsey just got back from New York on the Fashion Week on the runway. They were a huge hit this year at Fashion Week. And, the kind of people that wear this, these are their customers. I mean, these are the people who actually, all those people right there, they have Skin Graft on. And you guys probably know him better than me, but, I don't even know who Jay-Z is, but he's supposed to be a pretty big deal. So Rihanna and Adam Lambert and Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber's got on the shorts, and so it's a hot brand, and we think we can scale it. Now, can it scale? Yeah. If you look at these types of companies, Juicy Couture and True Religion, these are companies that have a fashion bent, and they can grow. We've just got to manage them correctly, and we've got to help their growth, but we know what to do. We know how to manufacture product. We know how to warehouse it, how to ship it, how to sell it online, how to sell it to stores, so we can help them because their brand's really cool, but they need some back-end help. Do we understand the business? It's the same stuff. It's the same jackets could be made in the same factories and the same people, so yes, we know how to do that. So the beginning, the middle, and the end, we understand that. We look at what we want to do. We want to put those companies all together. We want to sell them to an investment company, and we want them to say, what's going on with all these people? All these people are wearing clothes. And the same jacket that the young lady is wearing that's writing English is making the same jacket that the cowboy's wearing. And so we have synergies, we have friendships, and we have all these things that work together to make this company very, very lean and mean. It's the same graphic design group, the same sourcing group, the same finance group, the same warehouse and shipping, the same product design, customer service, marketing, social media, all those things combined. So Skin Graft could not have the e-commerce team that we have. We have the best e-commerce team, we think, in the country. Skin Graft can't afford them. But as a companies, the three companies can. So they play on their synergies together. And so that's what makes those successful. So here's another philosophy for you. And this is an interesting one I just thought about lately because We're going to be taking First Tactical from zero to a company. We started First Tactical in July of last year. Just the thought of First Tactical. July of this year, it will launch and it will have a complete line of products. How did we do that fast? Well, it's all those years of experience and all those things that we've learned. And I have to tell all of you that everything you do every day is experience. It's all valuable experience. Push yourself to learn new things and do new things, because you'll never forget the experience that you get by learning and making mistakes. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Just do things. Even if you make a mistake, it's okay. Learn by it. Because if I look at this and if I look at the business person versus the athlete, like right now, I'm a professional business person. But an athlete, I've always loved Muhammad Ali. The picture on the top left, that was it. Muhammad Ali. Sonny Liston's the guy on the ground, right? Sonny Liston didn't act, I don't know, for those of you who are older like me, Sonny Liston, actually, Muhammad Ali didn't really even hit him. He came out, and Muhammad Ali was giving him all this and that, and Sonny Liston all of a sudden hits the canvas. And everybody's like, what the heck? He didn't even hit him. Sonny Liston was scared to death. He's not getting up, okay? He's like, I seen this guy's stuff. I'm staying down. So it was a big controversy that it was like the fight was fixed. But he was just afraid because he knew that Ali was just going to beat him up. Then, look at Ali. He's only like 37, 36 years old. It's over. He can't do it anymore. Physically, he can't do it. So look at little young Danny over here. So I'm like, that's my first creamery, right? So I'm putting whipped cream on an ice cream, man. I'm happy as a clam. And so this was 1976. Right? So I'm learning business. I'm learning things. I'm failing. I'm doing good. I'm doing bad. But I have experience. I have tremendous partnerships, product knowledge. And another thing is we have money, right? Because we're burning cash right now, starting these new businesses. So we have cash to spend and help these new businesses grow. So, if there's one thing I could leave you with, other than what we're doing and how we're doing it and how we think about a business, it's my philosophy on work. How many of you here have actually worked with me? Okay, so quite a few people have worked with me. I would have to say that if I had to ask you, do you know anyone who works harder than I do? You'd probably say no, because I gotta be the hardest working person in our company all the time. So myself, Kelsey, Denise, we're the hardest working people in the company. We don't stop. We go at it and we just don't stop. So if I can give you that one piece of advice, whether it's working in your business, working as a manager, as an employee, the only thing you really can do on your own immediately is just outwork your competition. I mean, I didn't graduate high school. It's not that. It's about hard work and dedication. So if I could leave you with the biggest thing, it would be just work the other guy to death. You're going to beat him. You're going to beat them just because you're going to work harder than them and do a better job. So with that, we'll probably go to our question and answers. And God bless you, and thank you for being our customer.